The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
So remember, an hour away, 8 a.m. from tickets for Green Day, Pumpkins, Wrigley Field. You just got to be here at 8 to win.
The Q101 Morning Crew. Sports.
Well, everything was going awesome for the Bears till it wasn't. Tyson Bagent kind of looked kind of nice for a little bit. Then interception, strip sack, fumble. Not good as the Bears lose to the Saints 24-17. They were tied going into the fourth. It just still felt like they were losing.
Yeah.
The whole game, it felt like they were just getting killed, and they weren't, at that point. But
yeah, no, it was a tie that felt uneasy.
Yeah.
Like we would have got lucky had we won that game.
Right. And then it didn't happen.
No, we lost. It was okay. No luck required.
If they got to turn around Thursday now and play at Soldier Field Thursday night against the Panthers, which is now being dubbed Toilet Bowl 3, now this is an important game for the Bears, though.
Why is that?
They have to lose it.
Why do they have to lose it?
To keep the chances of the...
They're super capable of that, so it's okay.
Yeah, to keep the draft pick situation going. Actually, they have to win it. I'm sorry. The Panthers have to lose more. Is that right? I've got it confused now.
That doesn't sound right. Why would the Panthers have to lose more for us to get a better draft
Because the pick
pick
they got with DJ Moore.
We're good no matter what. Both teams are terrible. I don't think it matters.
I'm trying to gauge the win-losses by the end of the season to figure out where that pick moves up or down.
You want the Panthers to be the worst team in football? Is that what you're trying to say?
If I remember correctly, the worse they do, the better our pick is from what we got from the Panthers.
Yeah, well, that's how it works.
So we got to beat them.
Or we could lose because we have both picks. We have the Bears pick and we have the Panthers pick. It
Correct,
doesn't matter.
But I want 1 and 2.
Why? So we can take Caleb Williams so he can turn into a bust on the Bears?
Let me tell you something. Kenzie, did you see this guy from USC? So he's a quarterback that was
Probably
the high...
not.
Really? I just realized how ridiculous that question was when I got to the end of
I
it.
had to guess. If I was putting money down on the rest of your sentence.
Kenzie's changing Christmas lights in the chain over the weekend. Did you watch the USC game over the weekend?
I don't believe so. Let me think. I was so busy.
So, Kenzie, this is a guy that will probably go high in the draft next year, if not number 1 overall quarterback for USC. But he's having a really bad year. Lost to Notre Dame, lost 3, I believe, now they've lost in this situation. And at the end of the game, he jumped up in the stands to where his parents were. Mm-hmm. This is Saturday night. And he jumped up, and his mom, he started crying. And his mom put some kind of folder up. She had like a program to block the view.
She did have like a manila folder with her. I don't know where she got that.
Very weird. Does she like scout?
Was he crying?
Does she scout for Michigan?
I swear to God. Okay, you guys. I saw that clip, but like in my peripherals. And I swear, hand on the Bible, I thought it was Travis and Taylor kissing. And she hit it with a piece of paper. Because he had the red uniform.
Yes.
I just lightly saw it. Like, who else would cover? I was like, oh, they didn't want pictures of them like making out at the game. That's what I thought. They were kissing.
No, it was Caleb
The guy
Williams.
and his mom?
It was a son crying into his mother's arms.
Why was he crying?
Because he lost.
He lost the game again.
God.
Okay, I want your opinion on this. Because if I make it, it's going to be bad.
Kid to the get up, get better, go to practice tomorrow. Are you kidding me?
So, Kenzie, before
You're
you...
going to jump in the stands and cry in front of everybody. Come on.
Listen.
It's one thing like after the Super Bowl and you have like emotion. Like, this is...
No, it wasn't a win cry. It was a cry.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, it was
Even
bad.
if you lose at the Super Bowl and you have emotion, that's fine. Like, you're like I get it. Come on.
I totally disagree.
Case disagrees on this. I talked to him this morning about it before you came in, Kenzie, where I said, listen, is it nice that he had a moment with his mom and he's really struggling? Yeah. Is it another moment that I'm an NFL team looking to draft number 1 and going, ooh. It's not a good look that you cry after the game in the stands with your mom.
Why? First of all, it's okay for men to cry. There's no such crime against it.
Okay, no one said that. Here he's going to come in with his little flag and be like,
Wait.
flag on the play.
What flag? Is it the men can cry flag?
He threw out a yellow flag and like yelled at us like men can't cry. No one said that.
But I would rather have a quarterback that cares so much that he cries than somebody who doesn't care at all and just skips off the field. What?
A quarterback who just does a good job. You want a quarterback that cries when he fails.
Well, he can cry when he wins, too.
Michael Jordan would have been like, I took that personal. And then he would have turned around and...
He would have said, F them kids is what he would have said.
Yeah.
He would have turned around, he would have punched his teammate in the face in practice, and then they would have won a ring. I guess,
Exactly.
maybe in the end it's worth it.
Isn't that more important?
I don't know. I feel bad for Steve Kerr.
I'm just saying it was a bad look, and and here's another thing that had more context to it, what Kenzie's talking about. After the game at the press conference, when they asked him, how are you feeling? Everybody's trying to be in his
Where'd
feels
that
and be
piece
nice.
of paper come from?
Yeah, dude, that paper's weird.
Because it wasn't even, there's no fold lines in it, which I found weird. She just carried it full. It wasn't folded in half before that.
Possibly it was a press picture of her son that she was going to sign, but he cried no one wanted it after that.
Do you think this is something that he's always dealt with, like his entire playing career, so they just have a crying folder for him? Like, hey, Caleb, come here, I got the folder.
They stop at Office Depot before every game. But after the game...
Here's the thing, cry. You could cry. Could you just... get off of you have to jump on top of people.
It was odd that he went like a Cinderella story style with Hillary Duff and sort of leaped into the crowd just to cry.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's the most anticlimactic crowd dive ever.
He knew he was on camera. That's the problem. You're the leader of the team. He knew he was there. But after the game, he said, I just want to go home, cuddle with my dog, and watch some shows.
What do you think he's going to watch? Do you think he's watching Deadliest Catch?
I think he's watching, I don't know.
I think he's watching Lifetime.
Yeah. I think he's hitting up The Notebook. Listen, it's just, I feel bad. It's not a good look, dude. The Bears are not going to draft him. Listen, they have a couple picks on. Not very good.
Rudy.
That'd be okay if he was watching Rudy. The Blackhawks beat the Florida Panthers 5-2, but they lost yesterday, which led to a players-only meeting in the locker room.
God.
We're like weeks into the season for the Bulls and the Blackhawks, and both teams have had players-only meetings, which usually happens in the middle of the season.
Can the coaches go to those?
No,
they are players only.
Literally?
Well, they told Billy Donovan, the Bulls,
Don't
get
you think
out.
your coach should be there?
No. It's about the players bonding together and going like, look, guys, we suck.
This is our coach's fault.
Well, that's what the Raiders did. They got their coach fired.
Leadership at its finest.
Yeah.
What did you think?
What are they going to talk about?
What did you think players only stood for?
I mean, it's players only.
I thought the coaches could go, but they didn't want anybody else in there. Like they wanted the players to focus. I don't know. But I was like, then it's improperly named. But why the hell would you have a meeting without your coaches?
It'd be called players only, but coaches watch me. It's called that.
I thought it was called by the coaches.
Yeah.
So like players only because they're putting it out.
Yeah, the Bulls, like Billy Donovan walked in, hey guys, need anything? And they said, get out. We're talking here. And he told him to leave.
Oh my God, we are talking. Caleb's crying. It's a nightmare.
We're all going to cry together.
Sports has become very emotional.
Yeah, a lot of it. Well, what isn't emotional is the Cubs and the Sox, who both just went bye to some players. Tim Anderson's officially become a free agent. Doesn't mean he can't come back for like $1 million if no one wants him. They could actually sign him again. Same, that's just weird. And
what I want to know is, my thing with Tim Anderson is it seems like he'll probably go to a different team, most likely. Right?
Most likely.
So, do both women move with him?
Okay, what's the story so people understand what you're saying?
Okay, so he is married and has 2 daughters with his wife, which is great.
Love it.
That's good stuff right there.
Got it.
He got another girl pregnant that I guess he was dating, but the wife and this girl fought a ton on social media. She now has a son with Tim Anderson. He has claimed the son publicly, so this is not a lie. So right now, what are you gonna do? Like she lives in Chicago, but if he plays somewhere else.
Yeah. By the way, is that not great?
What?
The second scenario?
I mean, not superb.
It's not great.
It's not the way you drew it out.
Yeah. If he had just met her and wasn't married, great stuff.
Yeah.
The whole marriage and already having children thing, that's kind of upsetting.
It gets in the way.
Kind of upsetting for the girls. His children that have to be like, oh, so I have a brother over there, huh? Look at that.
Yeah.
So,
Good thing Southwest flies in the Midway.
I don't know. I just
Cheap
imagine.
flights.
What team do you think he's going to? He's going to like the Detroit Tigers or something like that. Okay.
I mean, at this point, who knows? Because he had the worst season of his career. He's 30 years old.
Yeah.
I don't know
so maybe
who's gonna
like the A's.
looking for a.
I think the Angels, a warm weather team, they'll have money to spend. They're not going to get Ohtani back. I think the Los Angeles Angels of
You think they're
Anaheim.
like, we can't get Ohtani. You know who we need?
Tim Anderson.
Yeah, that's the answer to those prayers, huh?
Instead of spending $500 million, we'll spend $1 million.
There you go.
That's what they'll do.
But do they both move?
I don't
Or
think
will
so.
That just send his.
No, I think the wife moves, and I think Tim Anderson finds a new side piece at wherever he goes.
He's got a kid though. He's got to support.
But he's got a kid.
Well, hey, those checks can be in the mail.
He better get a good deal.
Absolutely.
I mean, she's the girl though that he had a kid with had come out and been like, we are in a relationship, and she had a lot of videos, But this is interesting. The girl that he had a kid with also has another son, so I don't know if that dad's father is here. It's gonna get muddy.
She's collecting them.
Collecting kids, or she just had another one.
Oh yeah, from different athletes, different players.
I don't know if it's from a different player. I don't know where that kid came from. I don't know anything about the other one.
I feel like Tim Anderson's looking at this as a chance to get out and start anew. I think he's thrilled about leaving Chicago.
Really?
Yes. And I'm happy to drive him to the airport. I no longer want to see him on my Chicago White Sox.
He was in those lawyer commercials for a while.
That's right, he was.
Remember those?
Yeah, I do.
Not as good as the Frank Tomix Nugenics commercials. That's what we should be doing.
And the ladies are going to love it, too.
We know that. We know it works, Tim. We're aware.
So Liam Hendricks, comeback player of the year, also probably gone from the White Sox and the Cubs. Marcus Stroman is going to test free agency. Cody Bellinger.
Is anybody else surprised about the Marcus Stroman thing? Why he would do that? Because the end of his season was not great.
He had injured, too, quite a bit this year.
Well, I really like him, but I'm surprised because you think you're going to get more, but you had... Usually when you have a fault to your end of your season, you're like, well, let me sit here for a little bit.
I mean, again, the Cubs can bring him back on some kind of deal. They all want to test. I mean, who wouldn't want to test free agency a little bit to see what's going on? Maybe I'm worth more than I think I am.
You want to bet on yourself?
That's what Marcus Stroman's kind of doing.
He's got all those blisters. I'd be careful if I were him.
Oh, stop it. I like him, but I'm just like, I don't know. I would probably stay.
It feels like he just disappeared for half the season. He was always hurt, and then he just wasn't playing. He wasn't good.
I know.
Also, for the first time in Cubs history, they have 3 Golden Gloves. Ian Happ, Nico Horner, and Dansby Swanson. So
nice.
There you go. The future looks bright positive.
People are saying that on DraftKings, you're going to be able to bet on certain players crying or not. And
you know
I think that I would do that. That sounds fun.
I will hit up my guys DraftKings and say, besides Caleb Williams, who's a lock to cry at the next game. I'm not
Bet of the week this week.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Call in 312-591-8300 right now to compete in Clash with Kenzie. Compete against Kenzie in a trivia contest to see The Marvels. Sending you 2 passes to see the film. It comes out November 10th. Brought to you by Marvel Studios. The Marvels experience the return of Captain Marvel in The Marvels, only in theaters. First by our friends at Allied Global Marketing. That movie's going to be huge.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be incredible. So 312-591-8300. Call right now to compete.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
You can't defeat her. She's too powerful.
Clash with Kenzie.
Let the battle begin.
Q101.
Here we go. Passes to The Marvels. Out November 10th. And if Kenzie wins, everybody listening still has a chance at these tickets. We'll do God Bless the Baby. But we're hoping Enrique wins and just pass them right off to him. Enrique in Plainfield, ahoy. Enrique, tell us something really quick about yourself.
Hey, how's it going? So I work for Mars Wrigley, and we primarily make ice cream for all of North America. So like Snickers, Twix.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
It's a good friend to have.
What a hookup.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Kenzie, you sure on this one?
You sound like an amazing person.
Thank you for your service, Enrique.
Yeah, you're doing God's work.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here we go. First one to 5 wins. Listen carefully. If Kenzie gets one wrong, you can steal a point. She can do the same with you. On the count of 3, call heads or tails. 1, 2, 3, call it.
Heads.
It is heads. All right, Enrique, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Question number 1. Who has a heart 2 sizes too small?
The Grinch.
The Grinch is right. Good job. Kenzie, what country does the Arsenal Football Club play their home games in? Arsenal.
I kind of want to say England.
England's right.
Is
Good
that
guess.
right?
You kind of did, and you kind of did.
Okay.
There you go. Enrique, what units are ship speeds measured in?
Oh, is this funny? I was in the Marines, so I was exactly on a warship. Knots.
Knots is right. Oh, thank you for your service besides the Snickers then.
Yeah, this guy's he's got double valor.
Jesus.
How do you feel now, Kenzie? What have you been doing?
I've accomplished a lot. Drinking my
Damn.
iced coffee. Alrighty.
Uh-huh.
2-1, back to Kenzie.
Kenzie, who plays Andy Sachs in the film The Devil Wears Prada?
Oh, thank God. Anne Hathaway.
Oh, it's not a shipping question? Anne Hathaway is right. Back to Enrique.
Yep.
These are going the right direction. These questions.
Enrique, Frankfurt is the capital of what U.S. state? Frankfurt.
Oh, I know this.
And say it, Enrique. Say it.
Frankfurt is
3, 2, 1.
Indiana.
Not Indiana. Nope. Kenzie?
Oh my God. I always feel like I remember like my context clues when I was young, and I thought it had to do with another food. Because I was like Frank's, but then now I can't think of another place that had food, like maybe Kentucky.
It is Kentucky. God, that sucks.
Because food is so I'm like, oh, chicken and hot dogs is awesome. Okay, good.
Wow.
I couldn't think of another state that had food, though.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that's right.
No, that is a bummer. Kenzie's up 3-2, and it's back to her.
Oh, boy. Kenzie, what does the acronym RPM stand for?
Wait,
RPM?
like Italian and steak and seafood in Chicago?
I can't answer that question. That's not right.
No.
Like the restaurants, RPM?
Enrique, do you know the answer?
Revolutions per minute.
Oh, he does. Ties it up. 3-3.
And back to
How
him.
am I supposed to know which one you're talking about?
I feel like you should have given RPM the car one the benefit of the doubt there.
I've never even heard of that.
Also, I wonder why they named RPM Steakhouse and
That's what
Italian.
I meant. I'm like, oh, like I was trying to figure
I
that
work with a
out.
lot of I work with a lot of motors, so yeah, RPMs is a bread and butter for me.
What don't you
I
do,
thought
Enrique?
you made ice cream, Enrique. What do you mean you work with a lot of motors?
I work behind the scenes. We run the refrigeration department, so we run all the cooling for the ice cream.
You're an assassin, aren't you? That's what you must be.
No.
all these different jobs he
No, I
does.
do that too. I was like, oh my God. All right.
He does everything besides visit Frankfort, Kentucky.
3-3
Yeah,
back
for
to
real.
Enrique.
Back to Enrique.
Yes.
Who played Paul Blart in the movie Paul Blart Mall Cop?
Oh, he's in the meme, Kevin James.
Kevin James.
He's the guy from the meme.
I love him.
Isn't that funny? That's how he's known now from the meme that went around a couple weeks ago.
That's good stuff.
Oh, man.
All right, back to Kenzie. It is 4-3. Enrique's ahead.
Kenzie,
What?
how many games did it take the Cubs to win the 2016 World Series?
7.
7 games. Tied up, 4-4. Here we go. Next one wins. Enrique, what was the name of the scandal that forced President Nixon to resign?
Watergate.
Oh, he got it! Good one, Enrique. You are going to the Marvels.
He's like, well, when I worked in the White House. I'm like, what the hell?
The Q101 Morning Crew's Clash with Kenzie.
On Q101.
Oh, man, congratulations, Enrique. But if you like free stuff, we're only a half hour away. We'll do that every day, by the way, in Clash for Kenzie this week. But also at 8, we have Green Day Smashing Pumpkins at Wrigley Field, 8 a.m. also every day this week. So stay right here with Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101 again, 8 a.m., about 25 minutes away. Green Day, Pumpkins, and Rancid at Wrigley Field coming up August 13th next year. Tickets on sale Friday. We got them for free before you can buy them. That's how good we are. We got them that early with Brian and Kenzie on Q101, so stay here. That comes up at 8 a.m. So a guy went swimming in a lake in California, and he claims he almost died. Now, there's a lot of reasons you can go into a lake and have something come after you. Kenzie lived in Florida for a while, like alligators or crocodiles. They're both in Florida, right? Or is one not in there?
I think that crocodiles aren't actually like anywhere besides zoos. Isn't that weird?
That can't be true.
No, I swear. I think it's only alligators. Or maybe I have those mixed up because they're like the same thing. But one of them's like not around like that.
Huh.
One of them don't be around like that.
Yeah, there was a lot of stories about what they do in Florida on the golf courses, and they attack people.
Well, even in North Carolina, because I was in North Carolina and Florida, and my dad would hit his ball into the water, and you're like, well, can't even go on the edge. Like, you know how you'd golf on the edge, like if it goes into the water? No.
They're fast as hell.
He actually once tried to do it because it was like a little baby alligator, and he grabbed his golf, his thing. He's
His
like, son
club?
of a... Yeah, he grabbed the club. He's like, oh, crap. He just wanted to... It's annoying.
Sucks. Well, this guy wasn't attacked by anything like that. He was attacked by otters. A whole team of otters attacked him when he went in the lake and bit him, and he got bit 40 times, had puncture wounds all over his body.
Wow.
Don't you think you could take out an otter? I don't know, but 40 of them all teaming up together is kind of terrifying.
That's a lot. Nobody could take on 40 otters, Brian. How big? It's a lot. They're not even that tiny.
I think nature's starting to rebel against us now, and they're saying, like, F you, we're not afraid of you anymore, and we're going to come after you in every form. Like, otters, I don't even think I've ever seen an otter. I thought they just kind of did their thing, and they didn't want to bother us. We didn't want to bother them. I thought we had an agreement with otters. And they turned and attacked this guy.
I feel like it's probably the guy's fault. I would like to know what he was doing. I think you got to agitate an otter.
You think
Do you know what I mean?
he ripped his shirt off, but like, come after me, bro.
Or was he swimming right near their house?
Do they have a house in the water?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you have to do something to piss off an otter.
Well, either way, they all came after him and they almost killed him. But I want to hear about you guys and your story with an animal. 312-591-8300. When did you have a war or something just terrifying happen with an animal? Tell us your animal stories. Do you have one of those, Kenzie? Where was any kind of vicious or weird animal story? Something that doesn't have to be crazy, like an alligator or a crocodile.
When I lived in North Carolina, I lived in a mountain, right? Oh. And I lived on a mountain. It's very different when I moved to like a cul-de-sac in Minnesota. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
But these people designed their house, and not a great design for a mountain. It was almost easy to get on top of the garage. It's like the roof slanted down really low.
Oh, and connected to almost the mountain almost?
Yeah, and slanted.
Yeah, I've seen those.
So you could get on it. Which also means other things could get on it. And the guy walked to his car in the morning and a mountain lion jumped on him.
Jeez.
Yeah. And so that wasn't a great idea. That's why you can't be connecting your roof to your mountain like that.
Yeah. We have Timmy, the crocodile expert, on from Aurora, by the way, to clarify what's going on with the crocodiles.
Oh my God, they're in Aurora?
Yeah. Timmy, ahoy.
Oh, top of the morning.
All right. So what's the difference?
The American crocodile. There's just one state that has American crocodiles, and that's Florida.
Oh, so only one place has crocodiles, and it's Florida.
No. The American crocodile is only in Florida. There's crocodiles all over the world.
Right, but here, are there alligators here, or are they only in zoos?
No, there's alligators all over the world.
Oh, you're not helping us out then.
Wait. But there's alligators in more than one state. He's saying the only place crocodiles are in America is Florida.
Oh, right.
Alligators are in a bunch of states, right? Is that what you're saying? Timmy.
The American alligator, I don't know how many states that's in. I'm just saying there are alligators and crocodiles all over the world, not just in zoos.
I know that, Timmy.
We were just trying to narrow down Florida. What was in Florida?
I feel like
Florida has alligators and crocodiles, both.
Well, that's what we thought. We were looking for an expert.
Wait, Timmy, I got a question for you. Don't you think you should live in Florida if your job is crocodile expert?
No, that's like stuff you learned when you were growing up watching Animal Planet.
Oh.
Oh, so you're like a self-proclaimed crocodile expert. Is that what you do for a
living?
living?
I'm a self-proclaimed expert.
I see. I was like, how are you studying them from Aurora?
I don't know how we booked you. All right, thanks for checking in, man. We appreciate you. We've solved nothing with that phone call. They're just everywhere. Crocodiles and alligators.
What I want to know is crocodiles are like people where they're they're American and European and are these... You don't do that with other animals, do you?
Is there an Italian alligator out there?
That's what I'm saying. Isn't it just the species?
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
So we're just about 10 minutes away from Green Day, Pumpkins, Rancid Tickets, Wrigley Field. 8 a.m. We'll do it every 8 a.m. Every day this week. So 312-591-8300 is a call-in, and we'll get you there at 8. So it's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Tell us your animal stories. Talked about this guy that went swimming in a lake in California, and 40 otters attacked him and almost killed him. Kenzie thinks it was his fault. He must have done something.
That was the cliff notes of what I said, wasn't it? Kenzie thinks it's his fault.
Yeah, his fault.
I think that you have to agitate an otter. I don't think that
Please let that be a takeaway today in a couple hours. You have to agitate an otter.
I don't think
to make them mad.
Otters don't just come out swinging. That's not their MO, you know?
Maybe we can get an otter expert on, like the crocodile alligator expert on from Aurora just a few minutes ago. Glenn is checking in. Ahoy, Glenn.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're doing great. So tell us your animal story.
I was swimming. I was on a trip with the Boy Scouts in the Bahamas, and we were sailboating. And I dove into the water to set the anchor. And coming up on the ladder, a barracuda decided to swim in front of my face, and then nip at me and caught my shoulder and broke skin.
Ooh, whoa. Barracuda.
You just broke skin? I mean, how terrifying is a barracuda? I always hear about it, but...
If you have not seen a picture of a barracuda, they are about 3 feet long with about a foot-long mouth with razor teeth.
Glenn, can I ask you a slightly adjacent question with your story?
Yeah.
What member of the Boy Scouts, what team was this that you go to the Bahamas? Aren't you guys supposed to be in the woods roughing it?
Yeah, there's actually a cool excursion for all the Boy Scouts called Sea Base, and they go sailing in the Bahamas, and we go island hopping, and we man the boat and do stuff.
Tell you what, I would have thrown on those short sets real quick. Little khaki set. Nobody told me about the Bahamas. Sounds amazing. I would have sold the hell out of that popcorn.
Most people go to the woods down the street in the cul-de-sac and they explore. That's what they do.
And do the worst job ever building a fire.
Yeah.
This sucks. We're all going to be cold.
What we're saying is you were pretty privileged to be able to go to the Bahamas as a Boy Scout.
I don't know if you're an excellent Boy Scout or the worst Boy Scout. I can't tell which one that would make you, but it's awesome.
I was the worst. I didn't go all the way.
Well, we're glad you survived that barracuda attack.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm glad, too.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you here, Glenn.
Yeah, glad to have you at the table. Jessica's checking in from Sandwich. Kenzie's been there for a baseball tournament. Is that right?
Yep.
Sandwich? Yeah.
Heck yeah.
What's up, Jessica?
Hi.
Hi.
So when I was 12, my family went to Australia. I have family there, and they have zoos there just like we do here, and you can feed the kangaroos. So my family is at the zoo feeding the kangaroos, and we got a bag of food in one hand, and I'm holding out my other hand to feed it. Well, this big kangaroo, 6 feet tall, is like, I don't want what you're handing me. I want the whole bag. So he reached for the bag, and I moved it out of the way, and he ended up grabbing my side instead. They do have claws kind of like a dog where they're a little bigger, but they're not super sharp or anything. But I just kind of looked at my mom and was like, Mom, what do I do? Because he kind of had me in a little hug, but I could feel his claws. He ended up letting go and just going away, but I didn't expect to get quote unquote attacked by a kangaroo when I went to go feed him that day.
Jessica, now if this happens to you again, your only defense against a kangaroo, and this is for real, by the way, this is a real fact, you got to get behind it because kangaroos can't jump backwards.
What?
So if you stay behind a kangaroo, you are in safety because they got to go all the way around in a circle to get to you. They can't jump backwards.
So how do you get behind him?
You got to get behind him, man. You can jump backwards, Brian.
I can jump back, but I
Yes.
mean, I gotta just scurry around real fast behind
You
him.
got to get behind him.
And then if you stay behind him the whole time,
You're safe. They can't do anything
they
backwards.
can't turn.
Well, they can start turning, but you got to move.
I don't want to keep moving.
Jesus.
He wasn't trying to hurt me. He just wanted the food.
No,
So,
kangaroos are a-holes. You ever see those videos of one where they're holding the dog in a headlock and they don't let go? Kangaroos are terrifying.
They fight they
Yeah,
box.
they're jacked.
That's why you got to get behind them, man.
Well,
get behind it.
Yeah, get behind it. That's Kenzie's lesson of the day. Get
Just
behind
so
the
you
kangaroo. Melinda's checking in. We're talking about animal stories of when they've attacked you. Melinda's checking in from Wellington Heights. What's up, Melinda?
Ahoy.
Hi.
So my story is actually maybe not as exciting, but I actually work in an animal ER. So I work overnights in Elk Grove, and we routinely get attacked by animals because they don't like what we're trying to do because you can't really explain to them in their language that we're trying to help them. So
It's kind of like when I was trying to explain to Harper yesterday daylight savings time. She didn't care. She was crying and wanted a bottle. It's annoying.
yes, and that happens a lot with animals too. So
Can't explain daylight savings time to animals either. They're all screwed up too.
People were complaining that their pets were waking them up early, waking them up at the normal time that they would get food because the animals are just trained to eat when they eat, and they don't understand the daylight savings time change.
Yeah, they don't look at the clock.
Yeah, so no.
Revolutionary, Brian.
Just recently we had, and I texted in too, but we just recently had a dog that had gotten attacked by another dog, and the ear was tore up real bad.
Ugh.
And she was so scared and so, painful that she was super aggressive. So the only way we were able to handle her was to give her a sedative injection in her behind and wait for her to fall asleep.
Oh.
Okay.
Brian would
so
love
we
that.
do stuff like that. Yeah.
You would love something like that, wouldn't you?
Sure.
Right in your ass, and then
Yeah.
you knock out for a few hours.
Oh, it'd be glorious.
I know you'd be
Yeah,
super
little
into that.
methadone, little dexdomator, and it's a nice little nap right there.
Yeah, we have to contact you after the show.
Yeah, he's going to want that cocktail recipe.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.